Episode 35.
Эй, сталкер, с чем пожаловал?
Drinking NOS. My favorite energy drink. I know energy drinks can be bad for you, so I only drink them in moderation.
Что скажешь, брат?
Even more moderately now that I'm in my 40s. How am I in my 40s? Well, what's the big to-do for this episode? As per my recording this, I've only just recently uploaded episode 11. I haven't yet started editing episode 12. Oh, I need to go to Rostock. Drop off some of this stuff there. Equip my AK-104, finally. I have plenty of ammo for it. I can go ahead and start using it. Oh, you guys who want to go on an adventure or something? Well, maybe some other time. I don't want to drag you guys that way. You'll get slaughtered. I'm a man of balance. Friend of both freedom and duty. Is it just me, or does Deltarune remind you of Stranger Things? When I was an 80s kid in the 80s, I was afraid of contracting tetanus. And I flipped out once when I gashed open my right thumb. Just a freak accident. I still have a scar from it. Technically 2 scars on my right thumb. Came to my senses after a few minutes, but I kind of flipped out because I thought I was going to get lockjaw. Because the thing that cut me was rusty. It was a tire pump. Well, how do you cut yourself on a tire pump? Leave it to me to figure out a way. Not on purpose. I was pretending that it was a TNT detonator. And it came apart as I pulled up on it. It got jammed down. The pump got jammed down, so I held it down with my feet. I was like, uh-oh, I better get this thing straightened out, or I might get in trouble for having ruined it. But if it was rusty, something like this probably would have eventually happened anyway. So I held it down with my feet and pulled the top part up with my hands, and it came apart in 2 pieces. No one cared about that. They just were concerned because I had cut myself. This was when I was visiting family in Roanoke, Virginia. Oh, I'm half Southern, by the way. Born and raised in Indiana. But I'm half Southern on my mom's side. I'll take that back. That. Oh, so much here. 102 out of 102.1. That should do. So, energy drink.
Эй, сталкер, с чем пожаловал?
Enjoy in moderation. I mostly drink NOS for the taste. It has a tangerine-like flavor taste, the original flavor. And the can is, well, I call it Malawan colors because it's orange and blue offset with chrome and white. So it reminds me of Borderlands 2 era Malawan, which is a color scheme that I've always liked. Orange and blue, that's a recurring motif in movies. James Cameron seems to really like it, but so does Sam Raimi. Well, why not? It's a perfect color scheme. You've got that contrast, hot and warm colors. Well, of course, now I have to deal with this complication.
Здоров!
Give me a moment, my eyes are watering for I don't know why. I'm back.
Didn't feel like my eyes were watering from allergies. It really was just my left eye. Usually when only one of my eyes waters, it's my right eye. For whatever reason.
Stupid philosophical conflict.
Ну рассказывай, я весь внимание.
Always the stuff. Always the endless stuff that you have to do. The stuff that comes up that interferes with your plans. Don't make me do math. 102.1 out of 102.1. I was never all that good at math. I was more of an art and literature kind of guy. When I was in middle school, I had a teacher who was kind of a lot like Alphys. The Deltarune version of Alphys. Except she was a literature teacher instead of a science teacher. English and literature, if I recall. And I have more than a few Alphys-like traits myself. We used to nerd out on X-Files lore together. It ruled. That was around the time when the X-Files was a fresh new concept. Well, Chris Carter derived a lot of inspirato from Kolchak the Night Stalker. Even to the point that he had Darren McGavin on the X-Files. But it wasn't a carbon copy. The X-Files wasn't a carbon copy of Kolchak. By the way, I highly recommend Kolchak the Night Stalker if you like retro stuff. The character Carl Kolchak himself is an interesting off-model hero. One of the more recent episodes of the X-Files, the one with the lizard man who became a were-human, and in his were-human form he was played by Rhys Darby. He dressed like Carl Kolchak. I thought that was a clever touch. I don't know whose idea that was. If it was Rhys Darby's idea or Chris Carter's idea. Who's ever or whoever's what's the grammatically correct way to phrase that? Whose ever idea it was, or whoever's idea that was. It was Clever Go Nuts. Clever Go Nuts a go-go. Would be nice if I could just combine things where they are instead of having to put them in my inventory before combining them. It just adds a step to the procedure. Why add a step to the procedure? It scrambles my brain. Well, let's check the usual stuff here. What faction's trader have I not yet equipped with a full
Чем могу помочь, сталкер?
set of tools? Oh, that's a paycheck right there. And of course, why should the mercs care? I know I say that all the time. I mean, yeah, I'm turning these patches into duty, but they're monolith patches. General Veronin never asks for merc patches. If I was turning in merc patches to some faction, if some faction asked for merc patches, then I would understand mercs being upset.
Время дорого. Рассказывай.
Let's see if I have a chimera horn. So anyway, when you're in middle school especially, this is also true if you're in high school, heck, it's true any old time. It's everyday life is more tolerable when you can relate to your teachers and your teachers can relate to you and you can share some kind of common interest. It doesn't even matter what it is. It can be sports. It can be science-y stuff, what have you. And of course, art and literature, those are popular points of connection. You wanted a chimera horn. Video games, of course. Which by this point have become an intergenerational thing.
Ну, здорово.
I could take shelter there, but this is like my own personal space over here. No one else ever comes in here. Why would they want to? It's infested with killer plants and such. That's only if you go back way deep in there. Well, there might actually be something tray items, or I don't know what, back in there, but... I don't feel like getting singed. For some old crusty box of rusty 9mm Makarov cartridges. I've barely made use of 9mm Makarov. The only gun in that caliber I've used so far on this character that I can recall off the top of my head is Fort 17. Oh, this NOS tastes so good. It actually has that hint of tartness that I'm always looking for. Most carbonated beverages, for whatever reason, they're always trying to be so sweet. But if you want a really good balanced flavor, you have to balance that sweetness with some tartness. Or maybe do something different, combine sweet with salt, with spicy. Almost said salty. I think I was thinking of a chocolate-covered pretzel or chocolate-covered potato chips. Oh, those are good. I haven't found those in a long time. Chocolate-covered tater chips. Now, as a beverage, that might not work so well. We don't usually think of beverages as being salty. Sauces and dressings, sure. You can combine salty with savory and then combine that with something sweet. What was I saying before about Deltarune being kind of like Stranger Things? Chris would be Mike. Susie would be kind of like Lucas. Or I'll say, of course, would be Will Byers. I should eat something. High protein, high calorie, high octane. $327-624. 327, that's a number that's a recurring numeric motif in George Lucas movies. I don't know what it means. It has to have some kind of symbolic significance. 1138. That I get. But 327, I still don't get the significance. I don't think I've ever thought to look that up specifically. How would I phrase that if I were to look that up? Doggone lungs, quit being dry. Allergy season. Beefier mamma jamma. Saving the good stuff for later. Yeah. Finally gonna be getting some use out of 7.62 by 39. Which, if I was playing the game normally, would have become like my regular workhorse caliber by now. Oh, do I really need 400 plus rounds in 2 different calibers? Well, maybe not necessarily. Depends on how you define need. After I get everything situated here, I think I'm just gonna fast travel to
Чем могу помочь,
the
сталкер?
S.T.A.L.K.E.R. Making myself sell all. I know I've mentioned this before, but it was quite some episodes ago that the last time I mentioned it probably. Even though I'm an ecologist and a pretend recon scout, but a very dedicated pretend recon scout, you'd think I would make use. That would be all the 2 reasons right there to make use of scientific medkits and scientific stimpaks, because they're science faction issue, and the Misery style Recon Scout character class gets the most use out of medical items anyway, and these are the best medical items. But I'm also a walking contradiction, so I'm forcing myself to sell all scientific issue or science faction issue medical items, and I'm only making use of the basic ones and the military issue ones. And not only that, but I'm forcing myself to reserve the mid-grade military ones for the late game and or end game. I think I had a few more knickknacks and doodads to sell, but I can sell those at the S.T.A.L.K.E.R. And those dud artifacts I put in there, I'll sell those to the professor later, because after I get to the laundromat, well, why don't we pronounce it laundromat anyway? It's spelled laundromat. Hold that thought. 40%. That's remarkably good by Anomaly standards. I need to fix this up, give it all of its reliability upgrades, and then give it to someone who's going to be fighting alongside me. I'll decide who later. I'll probably fix this up and upgrade it. This will most likely be my next 5.56er, followed by this one. Subject to change, of course. Let me grab some surplus stuff that I can stash at the S.T.A.L.K.E.R. I don't need to take any of this stuff there. I think I'll equip Clear Sky, their technician and their medic, whose names escape me. Something I have in common with Sam Raimi. I'm terrible with names. Faces I can remember, which might indicate that my right brain is just a bit stronger than my left brain. But I'm not a neurologist, so I might be mistaken. So, by all means, correct me if I am mistaken on that. Oh, should I bring along a surplus that I can then stash somewhere? Either at the S.T.A.L.K.E.R. or the laundromat. Well, I had Medium rifle repair kit. I should take one full one and one partially used one. 79.2. Change the placement of the decimal, and it's 7.92, as in 7.92 by 57 millimeter, aka 792 Mauser. Now to the scutoffs, and we've got all these marked stashes going on up and here. Up in here. So that gives me a reason to go back down south. Why do we think of south as down? Oh, my head's on upside down. Blah. Teleporter malfunctioning. Just like Spaceballs. I hear tell there's going to be a Spaceballs sequel.
Как говорится...
How many times did I have to click that? 4 or 5? Why does that happen? That only happens in certain regions, and the Skadovsk is one where it happens a lot. Oh, do I have a battery? I don't remember.
Найдешь артефакты? Заглядывай, посмотрим. Слушай!
I'll sell you this. It weighs next to nothing, but I try to eliminate clutter when I can. Buy one of these. Spleen. Wonderful name. You don't have any red or orange rifle kits. And you already have all the tools you need. So how would I be able to... How do I even phrase this? I'm not even sure I know what I'm trying to say, I just don't know how to put it into words. How would I get him to make those things available? I don't think I remember, since I've been playing, before starting this character, Rabbit the Ecologist, I had been playing Moose the Dutier. And just never concerned myself with that because
Слушай, ну классно у тебя выходит.
I usually just had Man-Gun PI do all that stuff. And all I did otherwise was equip traders and medics with all the gear they needed just for the sake of earning money and reputation and whatnot.
Ну, я слушаю.
Now for some adventure. I'll just call it Rogue. and then put my auxiliary hard save after that.
Не тот уже хабар пошел. Не тот. Неужто завязывать пора?
He can repair your stuff, but it's not cheap.
Пожрать бы чего хорошего. Так ведь нету.
Well, at 2%, 40,000 for 2%, that's a bit much. He's got Zulu's PKM. .762 by 39 IRL is more easily suppressed than 5.56. I forget what upgrades I gave this. Got all the most important ones already. Reliability. Monolith goons like to hang out there, so I'm always wary of that spot. After I'm done with this Let's Play, if I do another Anomaly Let's Play, it'll be another thematic one. Oh, come on, I should have known. Hold that thought. I hate artificial limitations. They're so insulting. A normal person could trudge up that hill. Running up that hill, running down that road. How do the lyrics to that song go? I actually had never heard that song back in the 80s or 90s. I was more into Billy Idol and Metallica. I didn't get into Metallica until the 90s. When I was an 80s kid in the 80s, I liked Herbie Hancock, my very first musical obsession. His sound is so unique, and he has a lot in common with Billy Idol in the sense that the unconventional genius of his music. I sound like a gushing fanboy, don't I? Billy Idol and Herbie Hancock both have that trait. What, an instrument doesn't yet exist that produces exactly the right sound that they want? Well, they'll either invent an instrument that'll do what they want, or they'll improvise. Like the song Neuromancer. One of my favorite Billy Idol songs. From the album Cyberpunk. He actually used a saw blade to achieve a very particular kind of sound. I forget how to get over there. Wait. I haven't done this in a long time, so I'm going to have to take a moment to think about it. I'm in Zatan, and we're going to the Jupiter Underground. Yeah, this is another example of how and why you can't always trust that red arrow. Because that red arrow is telling me to go east when I really need to go south. Southeast. Southeastern U.S. That's where like half my heritage is from. Oh, come on. I could just fast travel, but I don't feel like doing that. I don't like, partially because of the time penalty. Flesh. Oh, great. Now, will Rogue know to take shelter wherever he can? What's the point of this building if no one can get in it? There's no entrance to this building. Why is it there? What's its purpose? Don't insult me with that sort of thing. Nope. I want to keep those guys alive. I guess we just have to wait here. Always with the time-consuming delays. Still not entirely sure. What?
Прикрой, сейчас я эту гадость сделаю!
Still not entirely sure what standards quantify a shelter. Oh my... Do the chores ever fucking end? I don't know if I have it in me to do another Anomaly Let's Play. This has been such a miserable experience, I can't even begin to describe it. Granted, that's partially because I'm forcing myself to be a pretend Recon scout, which... means I have to use weapons I don't normally use. And there's a reason I don't normally use these particular weapons. Even this gun can't kill fast enough. Might as well go loud. I've never had Rogue die before. In Half-Life 2, Alex and Father Grigori can both die to death. Especially on the hardest Doom difficulty. Zulu's PKM. You moonwalking or something? What, is this not an actual shelter? The game told me this was a shelter. Shelter. Yeah, take your time. There are some spots that are totally open to the air that count as shelter, so you can't go by what a building looks like. That's not what determines whether it counts as a shelter or not. Like the flea market. Totally open to the air. No real ceiling. Only partial walls, yet it counts as a shelter. Now I would expect that that one fruit cellar room that's attached to the flea market would count as shelter. Sure, that's obvious, and it does, as it should. But the entirety, the whole one side of the flea market, the side that's actually the flea market, is a shelter. Because the game says it is. Someone's in my fruit cellar. Okay, fine. Now, can we please get a move on? Oh, of course, I have to check this. Which I might have already done. Dead Boyd. Still flapping due to reflex. Well, I'm guessing this guy was a sniper and or designated marksman. I know I can't take all of this. I'll just take all the ammo. Won't even be all that selective. I'll take it all. I'll leave this. No good parts. I'm not going to bother equipping any allies with these. This I might consider giving to S.T.A.L.K.E.R. I might even, well, of course I would. I'm heading north, aren't I? I need to go south. Now, since you've forced me to endure that agonizing time taker-upper, I can scarcely organize my thoughts. Do I have OCD or ADHD? Aren't those like complete opposites? Never been diagnosed with either of them. Where are you? Oh my. Am I just gonna have to fast travel? I can't go up here. I could fast travel right to Rogue's position. You know what? Screw it. He'll appear next to me in the land of Jupiter. I might as well just go there. Plus, this will make it less likely that he'll get into a fight with mercs. Yeah, I think there's another merc technician and merc medic there at that. What is that? Formerly a sewage treatment plant, right? Oh, there you are. This has not been a fun run, for the most part. It's been mostly an agonizing chore. Look at his position on my mini-map. For whatever reason, the player can go up that way, but NPCs can't. Don't engage. All right, we're making it. Now it's mostly a straightaway southbound toward the entrance of the Jupiter Underground. It's both the Jupiter Underground and the Pripyat Underground, right? Because it leads to the outskirts of Pripyat. But on the map, I'm pretty sure it's called Jupiter Underground. This flood control canal, is that what this is? Reminds me of Terminator 2 and Half-Life 2. The cement factory, the old cement factory. And that's one of my favorite places for doing zone sportsmanship challenges. Are there water sausages? Nature has reclaimed this place. Whenever I see water sausages, aka cattails, they remind me of my hometown. Willow trees have that effect too. I reiterate, we Hoosiers are very Hufflepuffs. I used to work with a guy who was from Georgia, and he told me that the first thing he noticed when he moved here was how green everything is. I took that as a compliment. That was a very Hufflepuff compliment. I thought Georgia would be greener than Indiana. I mean, the U.S. state, Georgia, not the Eastern European country, Georgia, which will be liberated from the Principality of Magog, as will all of Eastern Europe and all of Eurasia. The Lion of Judah will conquer the Bear of Magog. I think I hear a lurker. I definitely hear lurkers mooing.
Враг монолита!
I don't like the way your character's
Пристрелю!
support hand grasps the AK-104.
Ты не коснешься монолита! Не уйдешь в
I didn't tell you to not fight. Go ahead and fight. Do I have to tell you to fight by default? You started fighting those mercs without my say-so, because I never told you not to. And that was a situation that I didn't know I was going to get myself in. How did these guys immediately know we were approaching? Our footsteps and or footfalls couldn't have possibly been so loud that they were giving away our position. Just constantly using up items.
Ты не скроешь монолита!
Rack 'em and stack 'em. We'll just let 'em come to us. I hear what sounds like a suppressed 9x39 rifle, possibly a 9A91.
Я обойду его! Прошу помощи! Умирай!
So this is the only long gun that your character holds like this, with their support hand in that position that looks totally wrong, which you don't notice if you put a scope on it. But you totally do notice when you're aiming down iron sights.
Я зайду с другой стороны! Прикройте!
I can't see in there, so I'm fighting
Обхожу противника!
not
Прикройте!
blind, but obscured. I can't. I just keep getting shot. I can't get through an encounter without having to deal with that, without taking damage. Everyone. No, even though I've got a gun that kills quickly enough now. Gunsmith.
Луна монолита уничтожит тебя!
See? I can't kill anyone fast enough before I take damage from them. Even when using a gun that should be making enemies die to death. Faster. Maybe 7.62x39 was the wrong choice. Maybe I am going to have to go right to the top tier Recon Scout caliber, which is 9x39. Why have I not brought my weapon back out? Sometimes I have to tell the game to do that manually, and other times I don't. See, I don't understand that. I don't understand the appeal of inconsistency. The appeal of randomness. There it is. I have to stare at this dog's breakfast of an inventory. I knew I'd be reacquiring one of those, a NATO suppressor. That's what it was. The suppressed 9x39 rifle that I knew that I was hearing. Oh, I have to force myself to not take the GP.25, which I would normally take just to sell out of principle because I don't like the idea of leaving a GP.25 and not doing anything with it. Just leaving it there to disappear. Now another hard save. I could call it Junder, Jupiter Underground, but this will be simpler. This part is easier in Anomaly than it is in Call of Pripyat. You waste your ammo on those Toscanos, and I'll use up my ammo on Snoiks. Yeah, I'm justified in leaving my night vision on. Maybe I should have invested in a S.T.A.L.K.E.R detector. Wasted some of my EP rounds. Try not to use AP or EP on mutants. Not gonna bother. So eager to cannibalize your own kind. Bash its head in with the stock of Zulu's PKM. Not gonna weigh myself down with snork parts, which I might have already mentioned. always invest in a S.T.A.L.K.E.R detector before going through the Jupiter Underground. You notice how my axe blade went right through one of them with that first side swipe? That pisses me off. That doesn't happen in Killing Floor. You notice how you can see his headlamp light. You can see the silhouette of Zulu's PKM's reflex sight. See how my battery power is doing. %. It's up in the pipes. I wonder why the AK-102 has two different reload animations, but the AK-104 doesn't. Depending on whether or not there's a round in the chamber. I reiterate, you don't slap and tap a rock and lock. Why couldn't I dodge that? That pisses me off so bad. If this was Oblivion Lost, any version of Oblivion Lost, my dodge would have been successful. That's never not going to piss me off. Don't give away our position. Might as well make another hard save on the off chance that I might want to just try this part over and over again. That time I pulled my gun out automatically without having to tell the game that that's what I wanted to do. See, when I sometimes have to do that and sometimes I don't, that messes with my head. Because I'm pretty sure that's not how that should work. It should always be, it should be consistent. Things that should be consistent consistently. Or consistently consistent. I think I might actually like this scope better than the, well, I don't know if I like the PSO1 better than the Tulip. I think it's nostalgia. The PSO1 was originally made for the SVD, wasn't it? Was that all of them? I'll try not to take too long with the scrounging. 37%. Decent. This reminds me of, with all these boxes, this reminds me of so many of the jobs I've worked in the past, and it also reminds me of PO'd, a video game I used to play back in the day on PlayStation, OG PlayStation. AKA PS1, AKA PSX. Don't know why it's sometimes called PSX. Part of me does kind of want to turn a USP match into a machine pistol. AK Type 3A, 1955 pattern. Let's offload some old ammo, etc. Early game gun. funny to see one of those at this point. Well, if they saw you, they surely saw me too. Invincible Fanatic. Eidolon the Idolater. I might have mentioned this before, but that word is actually pronounced Eidolon. But as a name, Eidolon sounds more menacing. This whole area reminds me of D6. Metro 2033. Which I had never beat. The version that I played had the Volt driver and the heavy automatic shotgun. And I figured out how to get rich. So that maybe I should have brought more food. How to get rich so that by the time you... Well, how should I phrase this? How to get rich at Armory Station. As ironic as that is, since it's controlled by the Reds. Who believe that no one should ever be financially successful and or financially stable in any way. And the way you do it is you will, what's that guy's name? Andrew the Smith. You appear in his dinky studio apartment, if you can even call it that. perfect timing, pushing me out of the way at exactly the worst possible moment. There's a heavy automatic shotgun. Antelope, an animal name I never would have thought to have chosen. There's another food item. Loser.
Получи и распишись.
You take the heavy automatic shotgun. Wait, there's a bit more to it than that. There's a Volt driver that you can get at a screw. A Volt driver that you can get at a bandit base. You need to have that before you get to Armory Station. Worm food. I forget, they're either 2 Volt drivers or 2 heavy automatic shotguns that you can get in the whole game, and then there's only one of the other one. If I recall, I might be mistaken. I forgot to recheck that one stash way back. Screw it. There was a rocket bomb. Sometimes headshots count and sometimes they don't. It shouldn't be dependent on caliber or weapon type, but for some reason it is. Sometimes is. Now if they're wearing a helmet, that's when it makes a difference. Frivolous tactical reload after firing only one shot. Come on. Click, 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 click. Always with the clicking. And the double clicking and the always clicking. Another frivolous tactical reload. Rambo. Doggone it. Fine. Lit the fire and then it extinguished it. The old battery just disappears once it reaches 0%. Another 57. And here we are. Here we are just happens to be the name of a theme from the Undertale soundtrack. Laundromat. Not laundry mat, laundromat. And it's one of these. And I over-prepared, I guess, as I typically do. As I typically do, I could quote Burt Gummer, "When you need it and don't have it, you sing a different tune." Guess who we're about to meet?
Ну рассказывай давай.
SG-550-1. think there should be a comma right there. Did I mention I used to be a proofreader? And I'm professionally trained in typography. Eidolon the Idolater. Firefly. Do you think he looks better with a goatee or clean shaven? That is a peak, widow's peak. Is that a goatee or a Van Dyke? A true goatee is just a chin beard with no tash. But for whatever reason, most people think a goatee is that, where it's a tash and a beard on the chin combined. I think a true Van Dyke has a bit more styling to it. Don't quote me on that. I didn't burn through too many resources. Health restoration. But look how much it drains your stamina recovery. Now I can start transferring all F1 grenades here so I can trade 20 at a time with that one merc who's here in the outskirts. I'll start bringing my higher quality foods and meds here, and I'll stash them here as a base camp, but not just here.
Ну, привет.
You've got, looks like an AK-105. A nerd. No, that would be Faust. Right? That's basically what Faust is, right? The most dangerous kind of false prophet. One with charisma who projects a fatherly demeanor that people trust. Well, maybe I should have kept that syringe from that improvised stim pack that I used earlier and sold it to you, or just given it to you.
А вот такое вам как?
That's not a problem. I have at least that much. I remember thinking to myself, should I bring some of those army med kits here? I don't think he always asks specifically for army med kits. I don't entirely remember.
Слушаю тебя.
There's a guy here called Cashier. You're not him. you're him. And once you reach a certain point, you can't interact with him anymore for whatever reason. There's the hunting axe. The best axe, but do I really need it? It is lighter than the fire axe. And I'm pretty sure it is at least as durable. You're not selling any kind of 40 mils. Not a problem. Well, I'm not going to buy the hunting axe just yet. The weight difference isn't all that extreme. Uncle Yar. Yar's Revenge. Anyone with the name Berserk reminds me of Berserk for the Atari 2600. And Yar here, well, his name reminds me of Yar's Revenge. Again, for the Atari 2600. Though there was also the arcade version. Anyway, the arcade versions of both of those games. Cashier, once you reach a certain point, Cashier hangs out somewhere around here, and you can't interact with him anymore. And I'm not entirely sure why. You're leaning against air.
Чего заскучали, мужики?
I'll go take care of that pseudo-doomer right now. It doesn't matter what I call it. That's good enough. Outskirts Giant. I came prepared. When did I die? I don't remember when I acquired an extra 40 mil. I started my adventure with 10 of them. AK-104, iron sights, that'll be for dealing with this kind of thing. It's trying to get behind me. Trying to not take any damage from it. Let's see if my AK-104 can kill it fast enough. All these distractions. It did almost, that was 27 rounds. I know most of them didn't hit. Come on. That 28 rounds. I know most of them didn't hit. I'm getting really impatient with this shit now. Maybe it's my fault because I can't aim for shit. Great. I didn't tell you to switch weapons. Why did that happen? 29 rounds wasted on one enemy. Kensington trackball. I like having a mouse wheel on my trackball. I just think that the design of it could be reconsidered and reconfigured. There it is. I think it sees me. Should be able to dodge pseudo stomps. You should be able to dodge pseudo stomps. I'm going to be harping on that till the end of time. That's all I get. That's why you should pack a grenade launcher at all times. And a bare minimum of 10 40 mils if you're wearing a tourist backpack. If you're wearing anything with a lesser payload, you'd be justified in carrying fewer than 10 40 mils or 40 mics. The breech-loading NATO kind are lighter weight than VOG 25s. If I did another Anomaly Let's Play with a theme to it, did I? Yeah, I did. It would be, I would use Half-Life Saga weapons, and I would base my theme around that. I wouldn't roleplay specifically as Gordon Freeman or Adrian Shepard. Instead, I'd be kind of like Gordrian Freeshep, aka Sheepdog. Sheepdog would be my zone name. I'd be an ecologist.
Здоров.
Говорят, что артефакты — это бомбы, которые в один прекрасный момент сдетонируют. А так как их растащили по лабораториям, то будет уничтожена куча научных ресурсов.
Now he's facing the right way.
Так и надо. Можно в это, конечно, не верить. Кто знает, что за монарх не может сказать. Кто реально...
I'd permit myself the use of all ecologist armors and maybe certain military armors. I definitely permit myself the use of either
Вот ведь как
a
грустно
third
всё
pattern
выходит.
AK or a fourth pattern AK. Because in Half-Life 2 beta, you get one of those. I'm pretty sure they call it AK-47, or they might call it AR-1 or something like that. And by the way, Bulgarian AKs do have AR as part of their nomenclature. Like ARM or ARF. ARM can be a bit confusing because there's the Galil ARM, which stands for Assault Rifle and Machine Gun. So yes, in some instances, AR really does stand for Assault Rifle, but not if the rifle was manufactured by Armalite. Or not specifically manufactured by Armalite, but designed, a stoner-based rifle. Stoner, Sullivan, everyone involved in that, in the creation of that very forward-thinking rifle platform. Let's see how much this costs. Too much.
Парень переслал, понятное дело. Он такого глаза раньше не видел. Правда, он утверждал, что было их на радаре.
9,000 for 5% of a repair seems more reasonable than 4,000 for 2%. Well, now that I've gotten this much out of the way, I think I might go back south using fast travel, and before I continue my adventure here, I want to earn the Heavy Pockets achievement by earning for myself 7 figures. And I want to get some other stuff done in the process too. Apart from that, I also want to transfer all F1 hand grenades to this stash. What to leave here? Oh, have I read that one yet? Leave that here. AP and EP rounds I'll leave here. SP5 I'll leave here. That's the good stuff. I love all of these nuts. Hazelnuts especially. Did you know peanuts aren't really nuts? They're something else. I forget how they're classified, but they're not really nuts. Someone put a bounty on my head. Like that's any surprise. True to my name, I will be a hard target. Leave this here. Oh, I'm probably not going to be using pistol caliber ammo or pistol caliber weapons from this point onward, but if I when I'm back in the southern parts of the zone, I might, so I might as well just take all the pistol caliber ammo back there. And just leave this stuff for now. Marked stashes. X8. Not the most exciting of the underground labs. Could you imagine if I took on the Toppers mission at this point? I'm not sure if you can. I've never tried that. Once S.T.A.L.K.E.R is in the top 10.
Неплохо, неплохо. За одну ходку две ночные звезды. Если так и дальше пойдет...
Multiple characters named Screw, or characters who have Screw in their name. I'm just not going to be able to do toppers on this character. Not a big deal. I just kind of wanted to. Mostly because you get a huge cash reward. Maxed out with Duty. Duty always seems to be the first faction I max out my goodwill with. Undyne's favorite faction. What was I gonna do? Go back to Rostock. When you're both an Alphys and an Undyne type of person, it makes perfect sense to be an ecologist who wears a Duty battlesuit. That just tracks. Scrumptious breakfast. That stuff might actually be nasty in real life. Tushonka. It doesn't look very appetizing. I think because it has a kind of a huge amount of tallow in it. And tallow doesn't taste good by itself. At least I can only imagine it doesn't. I've never eaten raw beef tallow. Nor would I. At least not willingly. Should have come over here first.
Ну, здорово.
And did I have any old ammo besides this? Would you believe me if I told you that I was an assistant Taekwondo instructor once upon a time? Once upon another time, I was a housewares clerk. I was given a choice between two different departments. I'll give you one guess why I chose housewares. Do I need that many of these? Yes. Because there's always future use to prepare for, to plan for. So just like Undyne, I used to teach dorks how to fight. But before I developed any Undyne-like traits, I was mostly an Alphys type of person. So you will never hear me ridicule anyone for suffering from any kind of anxiety, because I get it. I totally understand. I know what it's like to be that type of person who blames yourself for everything, even problems that you didn't actually cause. Can never have too many of these. I'm probably not going to be... Well, maybe I still will use 545 when I'm in the
Да ты рассказывай, с чем пришел.
southern parts of the zone. Ha! Let's see if the mercs have a problem with this. No, they didn't this time. I should probably go do some jobs for the mercs. What did my goodwill was like -20? Yeah. I've lost 2 spots on the leaderboard. That's not a big deal. Once your score maxes out
Спокойно.
at
Чем могу помочь, сталкер?
56,000, you stay number 1. I'll definitely do that. Treat myself to a couple of 40 mils. Now I can pretty much do whatever until I decide it's time to go back to the outskirts. I could use this, and of course one of these, to install some upgrades. Into this, or maybe my Vicar. Pretty sure I have more fixie-majigs than I actually need. Every time I say that, just refer back to that same old Burt Gummer quote that I always use. Good old Burt Gummer. When he finally went down, spoilers if you're not already familiar, and I've already got everything that medic guy needed. When Burt Gummer finally went down, he went down a lot like Kyle Reese. Went down swinging. Went down in defiance. What was it that killed Kyle Reese? Was it the explosion of his own pipe bomb, shrapnel from his own pipe bomb? Did he succumb to a gunshot wound? And where did the gunshot wound hit him? Or did he die from a brain hemorrhage to the left side of his head? Looking at it forensically, I think it was the brain hemorrhage. If he died from shrapnel from his own pipe bomb, we would have seen wounds consistent with that, which most likely would have occurred on his head and or torso. I don't recall seeing anything like that. Since I've got this much 7.62x39 and this much 5.45, I'm going to continue using 7.62x39. What message did I just miss? Yeah, nothing. Now, did I have two things to do in... We got Meadow and... It's on the road to Yantar right there. Yantar right there. Good thing I'm checking this, otherwise I would have forgotten I have something to turn in here. Still have this to do yet, so if I wanted to, I could just hunt bandits wherever I might find them. Never in short supply.
Как жизнь? Здорово. I forget if I have a moonlight. I think I might have a moonlight and or a battery. But I don't entirely remember.
And it's not a snork leg, it's a snork foot. Foot does not equal leg. Hand does not equal arm.
Let's see if the mercs care about this. They didn't. Good. Sell you that. I will go ahead and replenish my supply of 545. This is my favorite food. I don't have to eat the same thing all the time. should start stocking up on MREs.
MREs and bottled water. Those are my food and beverage of choice for the late game and end game. A bit more higher quality. A bit more expensive, but worth it. Cheaper than combat rations. I'll sell you this, these, caffeine, pretty much made back what I just spent on Tashanka. That word kind of sounds like Tachanka combined with Toscano. Don't you think? Maybe I should stash my nerdy book collection at the Yantar Bunker Lab. Yeah, I think I might do that. Since this will relieve some of the clutter in here. I could just as soon stash some of these things in the footlocker that's in 100 Rads. Not just at the bar, but in the bar. In the building that is the bar. Sometimes you eat the bar, sometimes the bar eats you. I read that line by Sam Elliott in The Big Lebowski. I think his character is called The Stranger, right? When he says bar, he actually means bear. Now that irritates me because bar and bear are two different words with two different meanings, and there's never a reason to say them the same way, no matter what kind of regional accent or dialect you have. In order to not screw myself out of a huge paycheck that I would get for a moonlight. Don't know why the game made my character move diagonally to my right.
I never issued that command, that's why I appeared to have crashed into that pillar. And that completely took my mind off what I was in the middle of saying. First, let's moonlight. Fiend. Uh-oh, we've got Hendrix! I better edit this in some way to make sure my video doesn't get blocked in certain countries. Well, that's not a problem. Starting with I don't know which episode, I've already made that a regular thing. Okay. I can give this any name. Getting ahead of myself. My brain and hands are getting confused. Let's see if I actually have that.
My head's on upside down again. Ugh. Yeah. So I was right to take the moonlight job and not the battery job.
Здравствуйте, молодой человек.
Now watch, the professor will ask for a moonlight.
Чтоб не поверил.
No, maybe not. I will do some of those jobs. Now, do I go ahead and treat myself to one of these, and or one of these, and or this, or do I keep earning my way toward 7 figures? A part of me wants to go ahead and buy this, and I'll still be over 300,000. I think I'll wait. Once I have 7 figures, I'll buy this, this, and this. And I might consider getting this too, though I will more regularly use this one. Do you really need 2? Yeah, not really. And once I get a hunting axe, I might sell my fire axe, or I might keep it just because I like the way it looks. Different colors, but it reminds me of the axe from Killing Floor.
Рад был с вами пообщаться.
I meant to sell this, and I meant to switch to my converted AK-102, since I'm about to switch over to 5.45. So much stuff to think about. I also have 1 more of these than I usually carry at a time. So I was meaning to stash this one. You wanted a pseudo-giant hand, and I know I have 1 or 2 of those. Deal. Standard issue is insufficient. As Chip Hazard would say. I only want the high-end stuff. I think I'm good with this combination. 2 of these and 2 of these. Now, what 2 jobs should I do for you? Too bad I can only take 2 at a time. Not that. That's one I might consider. That's one I am definitely considering. And the Wild Territory one. How about pseudo-giant hand and this? Now I'll just go ahead and use fast travel. wait. I've still got heavy bottles, relatively heavy bottles of vodka on me. And that means
Чего тебе?
that I still need to do this. $90 rounds, 3 max worth. Not bad, not bad.
Здорово, дружище.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with accepting a bunch of jobs at once. The problem is you can't change the order of them in your itinerary. They get organized automatically. I would prefer that they go in order of, well, for the player anyway, your main campaign mission or story mission quest thing. And then side quests listed after that, which is how that works. $7 kilograms. But then, apart from that, I wish that your side quests were organized in the order that you took them, which I don't think they are. I don't know how they organize exactly, how they self-organize. I wish there was a way to identify people who are hunting you. Hey, a nice clear sky kind of day. Or a way to know when you've killed to death someone who was hunting you. Easy money. That's what I like to see. I don't really need it. If I was playing the game normally, I'd collect all the AKs I find. I wouldn't use any of the 1955 pattern AKs, neither the Type 3A nor the Type 3B, this being a Type 3B. B is, like the letter S, the letter B indicates a folding stock. and the letter A indicates a standard stock. I would collect and use the 1959 pattern AKs, the 4th pattern AKs, aka AKM. Does my axe need to be sharpened? Oh, this eyesore. There it is. Did I have any more tasks in the wild territory? And if I was doing that Half-Life Saga themed run that I keep describing, which AK should I allow the use of?
The AK-47 or the AKM? The 3rd pattern 1955 model AK Type 3A, or the AKM, which is the 1959 pattern AK Type 4A, aka AKM. Redundancy intended.
By this point, if I was playing the game normally or as a pretend assaulter character class, I'd probably be using a green camo AK-103 with a GP25 on it. And I would most likely use that as one of my endgame weapons. I know it's endgame worthy because I did the endgame once with that as one of my weapons.
Привет, брат. Что скажешь?
That guy's got a pistol. You need more than a pistol. In my neck of the woods, we have a saying. A pistol is what you use to fight your way to a rifle.
Здравствуйте, молодой человек.
Rifles are game changers a lot more so than pistols. Don't have an empty. That I can do.
Всего наилучшего.
Brawny.
Если нужно что, спрашивай у главного. Вот дерьмо-то, а.
Both wearing
Дима
Isfrit
коту под
suits.
хвост катится. Ни хабара, никакого приварка.
Any marked stashes? Oh. While I'm here, I might as well do the thing that I usually do. for artifacts. After I get a bunch of stuff done that's already on my itinerary and or agendoid, maybe I'll go do some stuff for the mercs. Maybe even some Limansk stuff. Is Limansk generally regarded as a tougher area than the Red Forest? I don't think controllers show up in Limansk. Did I leave a container here? No. Will it be an active artifact or a dud? It's a dud, but that's okay. Tapeworm. It has an interesting look to it. Not the most flattering name. I don't think I've ever thought to, or maybe I have thought, but I haven't done this yet, to find out if you can profit from trading Nemirov vodka for 545 FMJ and then selling that 545 FMJ to regular traders. Feels so good to have such stamina, all the stamina. Dodge it. Successfully dodged one, but they were doing that clever girl thing that they do where one of them distracts you. Fortunately, my battle suit can stand up to it. But it can't stand up to ordinary cats and dogs. bitches. Marked stash. There's an achievement you get for uncovering a certain number of stashes, and I have no idea how much progress I've made toward that. I'll sell you
Приветствую на нашей научной...
this.
Заходите еще.
Вот дерьмо-то, а. День коту под хвост катится. Ни хабара, никакого приварка. А вот такое вам как? Кончай уже.
Oh,
Да, настроение хуже не бывает.
I think I am going to go ahead and start collecting the stuff I need to do that the thing that's the exploration gear collection jobber job. Jobber McJob for Skinflint. So I will buy these bear detectors with 100% batteries in them. And I don't remember if that affects the amount of cashola Skinflint pays you. But if you add 10 100% batteries, separate from the batteries that are already in the bear detectors, you do get a bonus for that. I think you can actually take the batteries out of the bear detectors and get the same amount. But I'm not going to do that because that's not very lawful good. It doesn't feel lawful good. Why do I have to put the raw artifact in my inventory and irradiate myself in order to get the PDA info? It just seems dumb. I should be able to get the PDA info. Even if it's contained in one of these. Good resale on that. And a Bureau brain. I might take that back to Rostock since Colonel Petrenko is sometimes interested in those. And what else did I have here? Shell and jellyfish. Might keep the firefly just for the sake of having it. Shell and jellyfish. Now.
Ну, что расскажешь?
Well. When NPCs run like that, I don't know what it reminds me of.
Здорово, дружище!
It reminds me of something silly, but I don't know what. Might as well get my binoculars upgraded, which I can do while I'm here. What have you got? Looks like an ordinary AK. I didn't see the magazine, and I didn't see what color the finish or furniture were. I can see the muzzle brake. It's an AK-74, AK-101, or AK-103. I'd have to see the magazine to know for sure. I want to see your gun. Show me your gun. Quit turning in the opposite direction. It's not an AK-103. It's either a 74 or a 101. And if it... I just want to see your gun. Your rifle. This is my rifle. This is my gun, etc. Fang. Another fang.
Здоров.
Well, you came in here. Why didn't the other guy come in here? Peregrine or Peregrine? Screw it. It's not that important for me to know what kind of rifle you're holding. I just kind of would like to know. Is it an AK-74M? I think it's an AK-101. That magazine is very straight. And it's a plain black one. Or black on black. Time for a snack. Should have eaten that half of a chocolate bar. Might as well eat that too. The black on black AK-101 is good. But if I'm going to use an AK-101, I want to use the best, which is the green camo one, just like the AK-103. That's a stash, but I've checked it enough times, and it's not marked. AK-74M, AK-101, and AK-103. The best version of all of them is the green camo. And the AK-74M, more than any other firearm in this mod, I think, has the most options for different camo patterns. But the best one, stat-wise, is the green camo one. Not just stat-wise, but durability, reliability. I'm pretty sure that's the most durable, most reliable of all the AKs. I think I've, at this point, conducted enough reliability / durability tests. Marked stash. I see it on my mini-map. Nestled in a nice little nook, out of the way place. Sombreros. I think that's what Whiskey Tango Foxtrot Headphone calls those. And that is exactly what they look like. A stack of sombreros. It's an electrical insulator. One of them got transformed into an artifact. It's at Professor Herman's lab in the area around Jupiter. Across the way from Yanoth Station. Two of my trading partners hashing it out in the wild territory. And I still haven't found a high capacity mag set. I meant to take that. Well, shucks. Pardon the back and forth biz up in here.
Здорово.
Up in here, up in here. Might as well equip Clear Sky with all of these. No wonder I'm thirsty after eating all that chocolate. Did I leave behind that 90 rounds? That I meant to bring back here and add to my... I do believe I did. Why does the rubber eyepiece on this
Какие новости, сталкер?
rest at a different position than on the AK-104? What do I mean by that? Well, I do have that many of those, and then some, but I don't think you would pay as much. We could find out.
Как жизнь?
Время дорого. Рассказывай.
Чего расскажешь хорошего?
Will you pay at least 8,000? No, but I do get this. And I didn't lose any goodwill. I can sell that to the professor, but I'm pretty sure it's not worth 8,000.
Чего расскажешь хорошего?
Do I have... an eye? A pseudo-giant eye. I doom. I doom. E-Y-E space D-O-0-M.
Спокойно. Чем?
Sell some, keep some.
Какие новости, сталкер?
Let's see if the mercs care about this. 5 figures. That's how I like it. And the mercs rightly didn't get upset about that.
Сейчас туда нельзя. Ну, здорово. Здорово. That's a paycheck right there. And once again, the mercs didn't get upset about it. Error 404,000. The mask. Part of me kind of wants to do that. But only part of me, not all of me. I'll start. That's a tempting luxury right there, but I'll skip it. I'll start acquiring these for the end game. MREs and bottled water. Fastening for attachments basic. I might have one of those. Hey, it's the cheat. You know it's the cheat.
Подходи, сталкер. Для таких, как ты, у меня всегда есть кое-что интересное.
Or am I thinking of the sneak? Deltarune Chapter 2 was chock full of Homestar Runner references. I wonder if I took on the Topper's mission now, would it skip over S.T.A.L.K.E.R? Part of me wants to satisfy that curiosity, but I have enough hard saves, and if I wanted to, I could just go back to one of those hard saves and figure that out some other time, just to satisfy my insatiable curiosity of Demented Doom a go-go.
Stash these. Complete collection. Well, should I fix this up while I'm here, or this? 40% and 31%, both in the orange. I already have the 10 100% batteries. They don't have to be 100%, by the way, but if you want to get the maximum
Спокойно. Чем могу помочь, сталкер?
maximum pay from Skinflint, then you want 10 batteries with 100% charge. I needed... Oh, you've got 2 bear detectors. I will go ahead and buy them regardless of the price. Let's see what message I might have missed had it slipped my mind. It's really Lukash's distress signals that I'm most concerned with. I don't want to miss those. Now, I have I'll leave those here. I'll deal with this stuff some other time. I need 2 more of these and 1 more of these before I do that thing for Skinflint. And we'll see how much I get paid. But I also have that box for him stashed back at Yantar. Stash my MRE here. Two-thirds of this one, and I have a 1/3 full bottle stashed at the laundromat. Laundromat. Not laundromat, laundromat. Ever since I was an 80s kid in the 80s, that's irked my brain. It's irksome. It's spelled laundromat, but everyone pronounces it laundromat. How and why does that phenomenon occur? Well, my head's on upside down again. That's not where I left it. And why is hazardous environment in the Half-Life saga abbreviated HEV? No cash distress.
Приветствую на нашей научной...
Sell you that.
Всего наилучшего.
Well, I don't know exactly how much time you have to respond to that. I don't see Lukash's... never mind. Distress call showing up on there. Now, I would prefer to go back to 100 rads and gather up this stuff. It won't matter. I don't always have to do everything in one go. I'll buy There's the one that I needed. And now we can... I didn't see whether it was monolith or zombified stalkers, though. It's just zombified stalkers. Was hoping it would be monolith barrier Z, not barrier M. And this time I think I'll get 338 Lapua and 12.7 by 55. And then sell it.
Ну рассказывай, я весь внимание.
And I absolutely can justify using 545 for this. Let's see what condition my 102 is in. I could use some sprucing up. See, I can never predict whether my character is going to automatically bring the weapon back out, or if I'm going to manually have to tell them to bring it back out. And so when they automatically do, I've issued them the command to bring it out right before they actually bring it out, and that tells them to put it away. That's so irritating. In Shadow of Chernobyl and Oblivion Lost, I usually like to use this spot. When it's monolith, they bring the thunder. They'll pretty much always have armor busters with rocket launchers. But they come with the intent of using rockets against people, which is insane. hiding from someone. Stop assuming that. I guess that's who I was hiding from, supposedly. That looked like a bandit. I hate missing shots and I hate wasting ammo. But if I'm going to waste ammo, I might as well waste 5.45. Tell you what, you watch my back and protect me from bandits or bounty hunters or whatever, and I'll take out the zombies. What the? Why are they randomly changing direction? It's a bandit, so the Freedomers. Won't do shit about that. Tyrant, a bandit named S.T.A.L.K.E.R. I'm guessing that's how you pronounce it. Am I being shot at by another bandit? Do I not have enough bullshit to contend with? Yeah, that's not the only bandit I have to deal with, apparently. While I'm in the middle of fighting zombies. This has never happened before. Bandits are a greater threat than zombified stalkers. And another one. And they all appear to be using EP rounds. This is something that pisses me off, is when they get stuck over there. You have to finagle. Yeah. Well, maybe that might my quick loading there might coach the zombified stalkers into being less stuck. Well, there we go. But there might still be bandit bounty hunters. Someone else with the name Fang looking for me. Robot zombie. Robot zombie. That reminds me, that makes me think of that. What was that gorilla creature with the spaceman helmet? From that notoriously bad movie? Simply known as the Robot Monster. What was that movie called? Jingus. Or Chingus. What's the correct way to say that? I can make use of this. Never mind its condition. It'll change to 100% condition on its own. You don't usually see zombified stalkers with these. That's a bit upscale. Slime. Orlov. Captain Orlov, formerly of duty. Zombified freedomer alongside a zombified dutier. Further proof of how the zone don't give two shits, or even a single one for that matter, about anyone's philosophy. Fragged. Frag stealer. You're wearing my coat. Seriously, I have one that looks almost exactly like that. Chronic. Are you friends with someone who calls himself Blunt Man? Beanpole. Summertime. And the bandit. You thought I'd be an easy target. Rabbits are not easy targets. I was a hard target. I was an easy target when you got the drop on me because I was occupied with what I thought was a more important battle. You guys already picked the place clean of weapons, but there are none that I need. How's that for stamina? Now at least when I get pissed off about something, my pissed offness doesn't get exacerbated by wimpy stamina. Now I have some options here. I'll take care of all of this later. Do I want 762 by 39 and 9 by 39, or do I want 338 Lapua and 12.7 by 55? Or Gauss rounds? I don't commonly use this thing because it's too heavy, not very durable, really high maintenance. I think I'll do this. And then sell it. Four units of that, 2 units of that. That's a decent paycheck. So I'm wondering if he gives you more ammo for the weapon you have in slot 3. And if he does, is that a regular thing? Don't remember how many duty faction patches I have, but I'm pretty sure it's not much. More zombies. Suspicious group of people, eh? Well, I wonder who that could be. Coming up on 2,100 hours. I will go ahead and do this. First, let's see what else he's asking for. This is the only thing that interests me. I only need to buy 2 more bear detectors. For this amount, that's not bad. $406,777. Sawn off versus sawed off. In the UK, they have an expression, sawed off. S-O-D, sod. Which basically means piss off, or beat your feet, or get out of here. I think. or it's a sarcastic / sardonic expression meaning something to the effect of "get out of town" or "no way." Something to that effect. Do you have any bear detectors? You do. I'll go ahead and buy 2. Didn't you just say that? Roman. That's how you pronounce that name, right? Roman. But yeah, he did repeat himself. I wonder why. Like I never repeat myself. I'm not getting on his case or anything, I'm just saying. Now, I leave these here. I'll make sure to supply them with 100% batteries in them and another 10 100% batteries. What all should I take back? Might as well clean this out of stuff that I'm not using and old ammo, so the usual. Sell all the old ammo and all of the non-Recon Scout calibers. Get this stuff sold. Sometimes I think it might depend on who's saying this or what faction they're a member of, but sometimes the word psychopaths instead of dumbasses. Wow, that's some resale value for just that many of these. Keeping them though. Back to 100 rands. Could fast travel. Not sure how much of a time penalty I would accrue though. What do I want to take? What do I want
to take back with me? All the hand grenades, I guess, and food and musical instruments.
Could sell these. Might as well leave those. 100.2 out of 102.1. That's good enough.
Ты рассказать, чего хочешь, что ли?
Closing in on 2,200 hours. All my guns have, I would say, satisfactory durability. Yeah. 102.1 out of 102.1. Perfect. Unplanned perfection. Unplanned perfection always strikes me as being at least a little bit ominous. But I kind of like that. Oh, what is this? Great. This is going to screw up my schedule. I was going to get this shit done and get to sleep and maintain my circadian rhythm, and everything was going to be just fine, and then you had to pull this shit. Like I haven't dealt with it enough times already. Just on this episode. Did I see a marked stash? Right there. That view of the sky right there kind of reminds me of the ending to They Hunger 3. Rude Awakening, I think was the full title. They Hunger 3, Rude Awakening. And I think the subtitle to They Hunger 2 was Rest in Pieces. Well, I guess the zone made up for that unplanned perfection thing that happened, because that made me feel a little bit glad. Though the gladness was spiked with ominousness. And then it pulls this shit. Well, that didn't take too long. Move. Can't even see what I'm stuck on. And now I'm encumbered. But not for long. That should do. Now I have stuff stashed in both of these foot lockers. Oh, what is this then? Come on. Ugh. Game, do you not even know your own rules? That means I have to do this. Quick save and then quick load. Ugh. Now, can we do the thing that we're supposed to do, please? Thank you. I might just fast travel back to army warehouses after I have all this stuff. Such a relief with the stamina. Kind of sad that you need this much stamina boosting gear just to get back up to anywhere close to the kind of stamina you have as per standard in Shadow of Chernobyl. Drop these off. I have enough thermite grenades now that I could justify only using thermite grenades, and if I wanted to, I could sell all of my RGD-5 grenades. I'll carry 4 of those in reserve, plus 1 in my slot. Now, don't auto-select an explosive. Why was that ever a thing? That shouldn't have to be explained. See also the Half-Life games. I don't get it. Why do things like this have to be explained? It's the people who programmed this stuff in the first place who should understand more than anyone else how things should and should not work.
Чего расскажешь, хороший? Какие новости?
I'm equipped to do Night Terror, but I'm not in the mood at the moment. Well, Stash that. All of these.
Тебе сюда нельзя.
Спокойно так снимает с пояса гранату и шлеп ее под забор.
Ну, здорово?
Правильно.
Как делишки?
Я так
Fresh
успел,
out of
как не надо,
Moonlight,
и шлеп
Dogtail, I could get you one of those, but yeah.
Баба. Нас так не слабо сыпало земной грязью. Над головой табличка эта пролетела, не приближаться опасно. В общем, хватаю Василия за ремень, бежим. Ну, сами ж понимаете, сбор поставил. Куча народу сейчас прибежит с автоматами. Рванули мы через дырищу в заборе, полем в ближайшей роще. Добежались, в яме завалились, дышим, слушаем. Ничего.
Not gonna bother with that small time stuff. The roads are no longer safe. When were they ever safe? Oh, I don't really need this much of this, but again, planning for the future.
Подходи, сталкер. Для таких, как ты, у меня всегда есть кое-что интересное.
Now, should I get back to Skinflint with all that stuff tonight and end this episode afterward, or should I save that for tomorrow morning and save it for the next episode? It doesn't matter which.
Время дорого. Рассказывай.
I know I have a Chimera Claw. I have exactly 5 uses of Army Med Kit, which is exactly the number I needed. That's exactly the number I had stashed at the Foot Locker. The Freedom Foot Locker, next to the tank. I had Altoids to combine. That'll be for another time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exactly midnight. Might as well go to sleep. I can sell this to a technician. Stash this. Quite a few of these. Now, what did I do with the sound suppressor that fits on these? I must have stashed it at Freedom HQ. Not a big deal. I'll deal with all that stuff next episode. Well, just so it's not like a splinter in my mind, a persistent splinter in my mind or anything, I'll go ahead and sell this.
О, привет!
CRT monitor for 90s style LAN parties. My friends and I started doing LAN parties back in 1997. Q Spampton reference. Obligatory. Hard save, and I'll probably delete that one. I will delete A, B, don't need it. Auxiliary hard save. Quick save, just for the sake of completion. All right. Earning Dosh. Till next time, catch you on the flip side.